Now at 5, the latest from Kansas City Police about yesterday's Victory Rally shooting. Plus, Ascension Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh will soon be under new ownership. And
top U.S. officials are sounding the alarm about a Russian nuclear-capable anti-satellite weapon. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with lawmakers' concerns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Kansas City officials are providing more information on yesterday's fatal shooting at the Chiefs Victory Rally. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Authorities say it appears the shooting stemmed from a dispute between several people. The dispute led to the death of one person, a 43-year-old mother of 2 who was a Kansas City radio personality, and also injuries to 22 other people. Police say at least half of the victims are under the age of 16. Investigators have determined that one person arrested yesterday was not involved in the shooting. That person, an adult, has been released. 2 juveniles remain in custody. Charges have not yet been filed. Ascension plans to transfer ownership of Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh to Mercy. A statement released by Mercy says Ascension and Mercy have entered into an ownership agreement. KOAM's Anthony Saviello is at Ascension Via Christi in Pittsburgh with the latest.
With terms in place, Ascension Via Christi will now be taken over by Mercy. I spoke with Pittsburgh City Manager Darren Hall and Pittsburgh residents to see how they feel this transition will affect their community.
Change is always a little scary for everybody, and you have to think of all the employees that work over there and the care providers in the community and how it'll impact them. But of course, they're all very important to our community, and we want them to make sure that they can continue to make a living, and for all the patients in town, they can continue to get the help they needed. But I think it's an exciting time. I have a lot of faith in Mercy. I appreciate what Ascension Via Christi's done over the years, and it does look like a growth opportunity to some extent.
My doctor wasn't allowed to work at Via Christi before, and now she will be because she's a Mercy doctor.
It's important to note that it is unknown at this time how this transition will affect employment within the facility. However, City Manager Darren Hall says that he is confident that this transition will make healthcare easier and more accessible for the people of Pittsburgh.
Anthony, thanks. The Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes in Fort Scott held a presentation about jazz musician James Reese Europe, the latest figure recognized by that nonprofit. Lem Shepard, a renowned musician and historian, played jazz, ragtime, and the blues, making sure to let the audience know this is a part of American history.
I relate it to people's hometown because I want to get them thinking, oh yeah, we've heard of Potter's Grove, or oh yeah, there used to be an opera house here. And so let them know that that place on the corner there, that historic railroad depot, was a place that popular black musicians.
That presentation was funded by a Humanities Kansas grant. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at the weather.
So it was a little colder today than normal. We're back to about average, maybe a little bit above today, and we do see some rain coming in tonight and possibly a winter mix tomorrow. Right now, just some clouds in the area, but we are tracking that system moving in early tomorrow, coming in right through here, and it's going to make its way early hours on Friday, and it'll lead to some possible snow showers early Friday. Not going to be heavy enough to cause any disruption to your morning commute or school, but we will deal with that, and then cooler temperatures for the weekend. And I'll bring you more details in just a bit.
See you soon. The Biden administration is meeting with the leaders of the House for both parties, as well as the heads of the Intelligence Committee, to brief them on new intelligence concerning Russian advances in space-based weapons. Skyler Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
The launch of a Russian rocket last week carrying a top-secret military payload set off alarm bells in the United States.
I am limited by how much I can share about the specific nature of the threat. I can confirm that it is related to an anti-satellite capability that Russia is developing.
U.S. officials say Russia is developing but has not yet deployed a nuclear-capable weapon that would be used in space to destroy American satellites. That would disable communication and could also impact military operations.
This is not an active capability, but it is potential one that we're taking very, very seriously.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, at the request of the Speaker of the House, briefed lawmakers about the situation Thursday afternoon.
We are going to work together to address this matter, as we do all sensitive matters that are classified.
Congressman Mike Turner, the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, first revealed the threat in a tweet Wednesday afternoon. He's calling on the president to declassify the information so the U.S. can discuss the issue with its partners.
We make decisions about how and when to publicly disclose intelligence in a careful, deliberate, and strategic way, in a way that we choose. We're not going to be knocked off that process regardless of what, in this particular case, has found its way into the public domain.
Russia denies that it's developing nuclear weapons for space, something that would violate treaties signed with the U.S. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Russia said news of the new weapon is propaganda from the Biden administration to get Congress to pass the emergency funding for Ukraine. Admiral Kirby dismissed that notion. Israeli troops today stormed a hospital in Gaza, claiming Hamas is using it as a base and that bodies of hostages might be inside. The Hamas-run health ministry says thousands of people who sought refuge at the medical center were forced out in recent days. The raid comes ahead of a possible ground offensive in the nearby city of Rafah, despite calls for restraint from the U.S. A judge has denied former President Donald Trump's motion to dismiss the charges against him in the New York hush money case, paving the way for the trial to start in March 25th. Trump was indicted in Manhattan last March on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records tied to his alleged role in a payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Prosecutors say the money was an attempt to influence the 2016 presidential election. The former president once again denied any wrongdoing. Still ahead, new choices at the deli.
With interest increasing in plant-based foods, I'm Jared Hill in New York with a company bringing vegan options to deli staples.
And a new type of therapy is helping veterans with PTSD. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a new type of therapy is helping veterans with PTSD reduce suicidal thoughts. Researchers at Ohio State University say patients who tried crisis response planning saw a significant drop in suicidal thoughts and attempts. The treatment involves 30-minute sessions where a patient and clinician identify the patient's warning signs and try different strategies to cope with emotional distress. UC Riverside researchers have discovered a new way our lungs help protect our bodies from bacteria. Scientists have long thought that the fluid-filled sac around the lungs exists to protect them from damage. But they now know it also contains virus-eating cells that are released into the lungs when we get an infection, helping reduce inflammation. Two new studies show that women who get persistent migraines, hot flashes, and night sweats could be at a greater risk of heart disease and stroke. The studies published in Menopause show that the risk is only higher for women who had those symptoms over many years. Doctors say more sleep, exercise, and eating healthy could reduce that risk. How would you feel about swapping the steak in your steak and egg sandwich for jackfruit or a turkey sandwich made of soy? Well, reporter Jared Hill shows us how plant-based substitutes could soon be coming to a deli near you.
It's the typical breakfast rush at a typical New York City bodega. But look a little closer at what the cooks are serving. Not so typical, after all.
Our bacon's made of kelp, our burgers are made of jackfruit and pea protein.
Neil Zacharias is the brains behind Plantega. That's Plant Bodega, if you didn't catch it. The company supplies over 60 New York City bodegas with ingredients and training to make vegan versions of deli staples, expanding access.
To offer people who are already coming to bodegas to buy the existing bacon, egg, and cheese and substitute that for something that is healthier.
Plantega's growth behind deli counters in New York City comes as research shows an increase in interest in plant-based options nationwide.
I try to eat more plant-based. I just feel like it's healthier, it's clean.
Health is the driving factor.
we're getting a lot more fiber that's going to support our gut and decrease the risk of chronic diseases like the cancers, heart disease risk.
Registered dietitian Yassi Ansari recommends focusing on less processed foods like beans or tofu when cutting animal products. And watch out for sodium and sugars, sometimes added to boost the taste.
Keep it simple. Make sure that there's not a long list of ingredients of things that you can't necessarily pronounce.
While experts say cooking at home is ideal, they understand sometimes people have to grab a bite on the go.
I like the chicken, the fish. There's just so many flavors.
Plantega hopes making these options more available will encourage new customers to give plant-based foods a try. One order at a time. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Food research firm Data Essential says the number of menus offering plant-based items has increased more than 262% in the last 4 years. And that is a look at today's health news. A little later, a new way to build.
Putting together a building with Lego-like blocks. I'm Cristian Benavides with how a new company is seeking to change the way things are built.
And up next, we'll talk about the possible snow that we have coming in tomorrow. Up next. Well, we started off today with some heavy clouds in the area and cooler temperatures. Back down to about what we're expecting for a normal February winter. Taking a look outside in Joplin, it's a pretty evening with some clouds in the area. Temperature is 53 degrees and it's going to get a little colder as we move into tomorrow. Now, we're tracking the next system. It's right north of Denver, making its way into our area later tonight after midnight, with most of the snow coming in around 7 a.m., 8 a.m. on Friday. Tonight, clouds do increase right around midnight with the showers coming in 1:30, 2 a.m., but you could expect to see some possible showers moving in a little bit earlier. Now, along with that system, the rain and snow mix that we're getting tomorrow, we'll also have an increase of winds along with that. We'll see them pick up around gusting from the north up to 35, 36 miles per hour by 11:30 on Friday, and then they will diminish as we move into the afternoon hours. Now, to start your day, we're going to have some showers, and then it gets switched over to a wintry mix. Mostly rain and a little bit of snow. It'll be very light snow. Temperatures drop down to 40 degrees by noon. Now, 1:30, we'll see a few scattered showers across the northeast, and then we'll make our way into around 6, 7 a.m. when we see the snow band start to make its way into our northern counties. As that continues in, it's going to be very light snow, just some flurries as it makes its way across our northern counties. And then we'll start to see a rain mix just north of Joplin around 11 a.m. and continuing on by 1 p.m. still some light showers off to the east, and then by 3 p.m. we're starting to see it make its way completely out of our area. Temperatures do drop, so we're going to see some colder temperatures tomorrow, back to what you would expect a normal winter to be, with still some clouds, and then as we continue on through the evening, dropping even colder, getting to 22 degrees as our overnight low. What you could expect to see is, oh, there it comes, just some light snow, 1/10 of an inch across the northeastern counties. And then moving into Sunday, we'll see the temperatures warm back up, sun comes back out, getting up to 73 degrees on Wednesday.
So a little bit chilly and a little dreary and damp, at least for a couple of days, I guess.
Yes, but by Wednesday, 73 and sunny for the next, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it'll be a nice break from the snow that we've had this last week.
That's for sure. It'll be welcome. Thanks, Lindsay. Hey, coming up, why the brand Charbroil is recalling hundreds of thousands of its electric smokers. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Charbroil is recalling more than 200,000 electric smokers over a shock risk. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says they can emit electrical current while being used, posing that shock hazard. The smokers, sold in black and stainless steel finishes, offer outdoor use for cooking without charcoal. They were sold from April of 2015 to last month at Lowe's, Menards, Ollie's Bargain Outlet, Target, and other stores. Many were also sold online at Amazon, HSN, and Charbroil's website. Imagine putting together a home like you were building with Legos. Now think of building an entire apartment complex that way. Well, one Florida company has done just that, and it's looking to expand. Christian Benavides reports.
Ricardo Lopez and his miniature dachshund Milo were among the first residents at this South Florida development.
So living here has been a great experience. The floor plan of my apartment is nice.
Lakewood Village is no ordinary apartment complex. It's built out of a new composite material, the first of its kind in the nation. The interlocking blocks that make up the structure are put together like Legos.
Anybody can stack blocks together.
Ken Smuts is president of Renco USA, the company behind the molded blocks, which are a mix of recycled plastic and glass, fibers, resin, and stone. Smuts says all you need to build is a mallet and a glue gun, lowering the cost of labor.
Because it's so easy, you don't need carpenter tools.
This material is much lighter than concrete. It weighs about 8 pounds. A concrete block of about the same size weighs about 40. Yet Renco says its structures can withstand earthquakes and Category 5 hurricanes. The company already has projects overseas in Turkey and says those have done well. This is the first of what they hope will be many developments in the U.S.
We're teaching people how to erect these structures, and it's really quite simple.
Lopez says he's comfortable living here.
I'm not worried at all.
A company looking to reshape the construction landscape, block by block. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Palm Springs, Florida.
The company says the material is meant to last longer and has a smaller carbon footprint than a traditional build. Mortgage rates are moving higher again, triggering a drop in demand for home loans. Applications to buy a house fell 2% last week. That's according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. The drop comes as the average interest rate on a 30-year fixed loan rose to 6.7% in the last week. 1 year ago, it was 6.3%. Spending at retailers in the U.S. tumbled much more than expected in January. Big spending during the holidays coupled with cold weather across the country could be two factors leading to less spending. The Commerce Department reports retail sales, which include spending on all goods and food services, fell 0.8% in January. That's well below the 0.1% decline economists were expecting. It's the second decline over the last 10 months. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, interviews with survivors of the Kansas City shooting. Then on KOAM News at 6, how seeing that images from that tragic event could cause emotional trauma among some of our kids. Plus, we're going to have more on what Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh transferring ownership could mean for patients. And Columbus High School today hosted an all-female athlete signing day. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for the KOAM News app. All right, take a look at this. It's a new species of marine life. It's been discovered in Japan. It's called the skeleton panda sea squirt. Before it was even studied by scientists, it gained online fame from divers posting images of it. It's gained its name from social media because of its skeleton-like body structure and panda-like black spots. I think it looks kind of like a cross between a skeleton and a slinky. And it wasn't until just a couple of weeks ago that the first research paper of the squirts was published, marking it as a brand new species. And wow, is that odd looking. I can't decide if it's scary or cute or somewhere in between.
I'd probably say cute, but they are just finding all kinds of new stuff in the
Isn't that
ocean every day.
Yes, you know, lots and lots of unexplored territory. I'm sure a lot more to be found.
Yeah, definitely.
The weather looking kind of damp and dreary in the next couple of days.
So we do have some snow mix coming in tomorrow morning. Should clear out by the afternoon, clearing the clouds and sky, and then leading us to Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. all sunny days and temperatures warming back up to 73 on Wednesday with some showers again after that long stretch of sun.
Thanks for joining us. See you at 6. Let's make it a great evening.